Hey everyone, welcome back to Restoring the Snyderverse. This is episode 6, and today I will be explaining what the Snyderverse is and what existing films within the DC universe are actually connected to it. So, the Snyderverse is Zack Snyder's original plan for the DC universe, which starts at Man of Steel and was supposed to end at Justice League 3, where the Justice League would defeat Darkseid. But that's not to say that is where the DCEU was going to end. It was just where Snyder would leave the universe, allowing other storytellers to take over. In total, Zack Snyder would be directing 5 of the films in the Snyderverse, that being Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, and Justice League 3. The films that have already been released that are 100% definitely connected to Snyder's DC films are Wonder Woman 1 and Suicide Squad, and hopefully David Ayer, the director of Suicide Squad, can get his true version of the film released someday, as his film was massively interfered by Warner Brothers, much like how Zack Snyder's Justice League film was torn apart by Warner Brothers. Other than this time, they forced David Ayer to do the reshoots himself, instead of bringing in a different director. Birds of Prey doesn't contradict any of those films, so I think it's fair to say that Birds of Prey is in the Snyderverse. But that doesn't stop me from not really liking it. So those are the films that are undoubtedly connected to Snyder's story. Unfortunately, that is where the clarity ends, as Warner Brothers can't seem to make their mind up as to what is connected and what is standalone. And it becomes so confusing that I've decided to ignore what they say and have created what I think is in the Snyderverse, and what isn't, and I explain why I think a certain film is or isn't connected to the Snyderverse. So let's get into it. Aquaman is a confusing one, as Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, did say that that film does follow on from the Snyder cut of Justice League.
In Zach's cut, we had it where I was with Volko and Mara, and I say that I have to go home, and they say there's this force coming that I need to help. And I'm like, I'm going home to see my dad, and so I get in the back of a pickup truck and pound a bottle of something, and off he goes, the Wanderer, you know what I mean? So that was kind of like the end of Justice League where I was going. And then you cut to me coming home and run into a submarine and bango. Yeah. And then go see Pops, and I think he's just going to get rooted again. I think he's been gone for so long, it's just him kind of come back to his roots. But the way James flashbacks through the movie, obviously you want to establish what it was like, what he went through as a child, and so. But from the adult version, yeah. I'm coming straight back from where the Justice League experience.
However, the films do not quite add up, as in the Snyder cut, Arthur Curry visits the throne where the King of Atlantis holds his trident, whereas in Aquaman, the throne and trident are a hidden myth and are guarded by the Carethan. So the continuity doesn't quite add up. Not only that, but Mera has an English accent in the Snyder cut, but has an American accent in Aquaman. Unfortunately, I don't think switching between accents is one of Mera's powers, so for me, as much as I want those films to be connected, as I love both of them, I can't see Aquaman connected to the Snyderverse. The other film that is on the fence with being in the Snyderverse is Shazam. Now, I've seen people saying without doubt that this film is in the Snyderverse, but for me, it isn't, and it can't be. Right at the end of the film, we see Shazam visit Freddy, and then a small cameo of a headless Superman. Now, some claim that that scene proves that the film is in the Snyderverse. However, at the end of the Snyder cut, Superman is still wearing the black suit, and will only transition to the blue and red suit in Justice League 2, when he turns evil and succumbs to the anti-life equation. So unless Superman visiting a school to say hi to a superhero's best friend is a part of Darkseid's evil plan, I don't think Shazam is a part of the Snyderverse either. Also, I don't think Superman would visit a school after seeing Lois Lane die, along with their unborn child. Not only this, but the suit Superman is wearing in this scene isn't Snyder's design either, with red being added to the waist and an increase in the saturation of the colours, specifically the gold in the S. Also, with John Williams' score being added to this scene as he appears, makes it an even clearer indication to me that this is Joss Whedon's Superman and not Snyder's, as in Whedon's version of Superman, John Williams' Superman theme plays then as well. I'm not saying his theme isn't bad, in fact it's one of my favourite of all time, but Snyder's Superman has his own theme, created by Hans Zimmer. The final film that I believe is not in the Snyderverse is Wonder Woman 1984. Not only is it co-written by Jeff Johns, one of the people who helped butcher Justice League and helped Whedon rewrite the film, but in Wonder Woman 1984, Diana can fly, whereas in Batman v Superman and the Snyder Cut, Wonder Woman hasn't shown off her flying abilities. So unless she's purposefully given herself a disadvantage against Doomsday and Steppenwolf, yet again I don't see it connected to the Snyderverse. Snyder did confirm that he did plan for Wonder Woman to fly in future films, so I'm assuming she was going to learn how to fly back to Themyscira in Justice League 2. So that would mean the Snyderverse is Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 1, Birds of Prey, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Those are the films that have already been released, but what about the rest of the Snyderverse that fans are calling for with the hashtag #RestoreTheSnyderverse? Well, that's where it gets even more confusing, as there are only 2 films that are concretely confirmed to be in the Snyderverse, if it went ahead. That being Justice League 2 and 3. At the end of the Snyder Cut, Deathstroke goes to Lex Luthor, where Luthor reveals Batman's true identity as Bruce Wayne. This was supposed to set up the Batman vs Deathstroke film, but unfortunately, Ben Affleck left the role before the film was created. But Ben Affleck did return for additional photography for the Snyder Cut in 2021, and is returning for the Flash film. So a film or series could go ahead if Affleck wanted to. There were also going to be individual stories being told for the characters, such as Cyborg, Martian Manhunter, and the Atom. At the bare minimum, the Snyderverse could be Justice League 2 and 3, but there are actually loads of stories that could be told if Warner Brothers allowed the Snyderverse to be fully restored. I guess we just have to wait and see what the Discovery merger does for the likelihood of the Snyderverse. I've said this on my other videos, but the main reason why I want to see the Snyderverse restored is because Snyder was the only one who had a planned out cinematic universe for these DC characters. And by the sounds of things, he is still the only one with a planned out universe. That's why I want to see the Snyderverse restored. That also doesn't mean I don't want to see films that aren't connected to the Snyderverse, as I loved both Shazam and Aquaman, and I'm really excited for the Flash film, whatever universe they decide that film to be in. I'm becoming more and more interested in the Suicide Squad film that is coming out next month, so I'm not just wanting to see Snyder's DC films and nothing else. So anyway, those are the films that I see connected to the Snyderverse, and I would love to hear what you think is connected to the Snyderverse and what isn't, and why. Please be civil in the comments, as I completely respect your opinion, so I'd hope my opinion is respected too, as well as others you may converse with in the comments. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon, so until then, have a great day. Bye.